Hey y'all. So, if we don't think that we are miraculous beings, just decide that you want to come out and show up. Ha! Alright, so I'm going to make this quick and sweet just in case the internet decides that it wants to do its thing again. It took me a minute. I was about to walk down the hill near the hotel to get a signal, honey, but last time I did not introduce myself to those of you who are joining me for the first time or just, coming into knowing who I am. I am the Rev Coach LaTanya Taylor, and I help women reinvent their lives when they've been struggling with areas of hiding, pretending, and conformity in sex, love, and money. Okay. The truth is, I really help women and grow their relationship with God through sex, love, and money, because we have been taught to separate these things as well. So, Rebirth International is my website, and you can visit me there, or you could check me out on About Me just to learn a little bit more about me. I also have a YouTube channel for you to check me out. Do your research, honey, so you'll know where I'm coming from. So today I want to talk to you about the temptation to quit. The temptation to quit and breaking the spirit of defeat. And hey, look, I was ready. Spirit had already dropped some things into me, and has been for weeks, for months. But how apropos, right? That today, when I want to talk to you about this breaking the spirit of defeat and coming out and the temptation to quit when we're 23 days into the new year, that the internet wouldn't work. It kept saying that the internet connection was too slow. And I could have given up maybe, but that's really never an option for me. And some of you may be able to relate to this, the spirit of defeat. Sometimes you don't even really know you have the spirit of defeat, particularly when you are very spiritual. You tend to call it other things. And it shows up in the places that no one really can see, because you may be performing on the outside. You may be meeting all of your responsibilities, but you still have the spirit of defeat. And so if you played sports, you may not be able to relate to this from the place of performance. But you could have played sports but not have any skills in relationships or the relationships that you're in. And so let me just, a part of me coming out is to share and to tell on myself, and to tell and to share myself. And so I remember when about 10th grade, when we started doing our planning for college prep. I think I was in honors. Don't hate. And so we started kind of early, right? And we started looking at colleges with the counselors, and also in my family, and we had a selection of colleges. And I remember my mother saying, I don't know how you gonna go to school. I don't know how you gonna go to college. I don't have the money to pay for it. You better try to go to a community college somewhere. Now, mind you, I already told you yesterday, I'm gonna do a quick some summary of what I said yesterday. Coming from the spirit of feeling unloved, unwanted, black sheep, empathic, clairvoyant, already thinking that something is wrong with me in my mind, that was the beginning of me saying, I can't wait to get away from here, from this small town, from these people. And really not even the small town, because it was really just what was going on for me in my mind, in my heart, around my family. So when my mother said that, it was another sense of abandonment. Hey, y'all, I see y'all coming in. Thank you. She told me she didn't know. And so I felt like I didn't have any help. And what do? You kick into survival mode. I was already in ROTC. Shout out to all of you who were in ROTC. I liked ROTC. I had tried to do other things throughout my youth. I played piano. At least I took piano lessons. I did ballet. Well, no. I wanted to do ballet. Everybody thought because I was tall that I was supposed to play basketball. That wasn't me. And if you know anything about me and the goddess that I am now, you could see that I was a little goddess then. I wasn't trying to be sweating. Send me some love, y'all, so I can know you're there. Send me some hearts, because otherwise it feels like I'm talking to myself, and I'm not really doing this just to talk to myself. Although I will, Send me some hearts. The wind is really high here, and I know that you all have other issues. My people are on the East Coast, so the wind is really, really high. I hope that you can hear me. So I said all that to say, as a result of my parents' divorce, my mother was overwhelmed. So she used to say things, like when I would get in the car, when I participated in these particular activities, she used to say, I can't do this. I need some help. I'm tired. I'm standing on my feet all day. And if you're a single mother, you may be able to relate. Well, me, the empath, was internalizing that. I was internalizing that as not being valued, not being supported. And I didn't know how to communicate or to ask for what I needed, but I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. And so ROTC must have been something easy. It must not have been an inconvenience for anyone because we had to make different arrangements for me as a child because my mother worked very early hours. I had to go to family's house, and that's where a lot of other things happened in my life that started to shape who I thought I was or what I meant to my family. Some of them don't even know to this day. And that's probably why yesterday it was so difficult for me to really begin to get into my story because, sometimes in ministry we learn how to teach and to preach and not necessarily share the pain, or we come into ministry sharing only the pain. And so my orientation was a little different coming into ministry. So I want to do this to share these parts of myself with you. And so here we have piano. I was in the choir. The ballet that I wanted to take, but my cousin was taking, and I couldn't take it, and I had to hear about it later, why it was such an inconvenience. Basketball wasn't my thing. And so here I am, ready to do different things, having interest, but I had to suppress it. And here in ROTC, I saw my way out. I won a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship. I say won, but I earned a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship to Southern University. Shout out to the Jaguars. And I go and I proceed. I believe that was the beginning of me making a decision that I couldn't give up on me. Because I didn't really I had a big sister who you all sometimes see me post about and share how she's my angel. Because my sister really helped me really through the spirit of depression. She wrote me letters when my heart was breaking, when I didn't understand what was going on, when I wanted to run away from home, when I was acting out. And, I really sympathize for the children who got smart mouths and they may be giving you some trouble at home. It usually is because they don't have the skills to tell you what's really going on inside. That was me. And, even though I'm not that old, therapy was not popular. Therapy wasn't popular, and coaching wasn't popular. And I probably was in a generation where, yes, we were still a village and we were still very close knit, but it was the beginning, I think, of the time when people started to individualize, you know? So I remember that time, and I'm walking you through this so that you may be able to walk through the time in your life that you too may have had a dream deferred, because those dreams deferred, they never go away. And so here I am now. I told you all yesterday about going from feeling like the black sheep to being prodigal, because I knew that one of the things that I had to do was to leave, to move away, or I was going to get stuck. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And when you have an anointing on your life, it doesn't just start with an idea to come into ministry. And those of you who do it for that reason, God bless you, because when you have an anointing on you, you can't run from it, you can't hide it, you wear it. And even my husband yesterday was saying, I don't understand why somebody who has a Sunday call and somebody who teaches and preaches, and I don't understand how you were nervous in it. And you know what? Sometimes your anointing is not for anybody else to understand, and particularly if you're an empath, because when all the preachers know that it's like this. When you have a word or something inside of you, when you don't release that thing, it can literally make you sick. We carry these words inside of us, particularly when our life is not our own. When we are available to spirit, it's not just an intellectual thing. It really is something that you become a channel, you become available to. I have to tell some of the preachers a story about hooping and my naivete about hooping. But anyway, listen, talking about this temptation to quit. I really remember being that determined in my youth. It was a survival mechanism. It was a response to what was going on the inside of me. And some of you remember a time when you were focused. There was a time when you knew what you wanted, and if you never knew, if you made decisions because your survival kicked in very early, because some people came from poverty, and so you've always been in survival. You've always been in hustle. You've always had to watch your back. You've always had it. If you've had a silver spoon in your mouth, your survival may not look like the person's survival who has a pain body story. It may have been just that something that's on the inside of you that was unlike the other people in your family. So that being said, I would say that the spirit to quit can happen very, very easily when your wound is never healed, whatever the wound is. And don't feel so bad about that, because if you have not grown the muscle of knowing how to walk into a conflict or walk through a problem or a challenge, it's easy sometimes to say, just forget about it. Or sometimes, we get real sophisticated and we dress it up, and we start saying, oh, it wasn't meant for me. The Lord didn't mean it for me. If it didn't flow together, it wasn't for me. No. It's the same thing with your goals for 2016, right? It's the same thing for the vision that you have for yourself that you may not have space or energy for because you're working a 9-to-5 job. You may not have had a mentor. You may not even know how to trust a mentor or a coach. Particularly, I want to talk to the black women. Black women, we have been taught and conditioned to be suspicious because of a lot of our experiences with authority, with spiritual leadership, and also because no one ever taught us how to facilitate our inner authority. And so a lot of times the what we see on TV, the angry black woman, the fallouts, the walking away, the post on Facebook about how you cutting people out your life and how you gonna, I'm gonna have to clean up my list. Why announce it? Because real soldiers, when they roll out, baby. They don't have to make no announcements. My point, though, is we know how to bounce, but we don't know how to stay or stick with it. And sometimes we have to really break the spirit of quitting and defeat, knowing that the race is not given to the swift, but to those who endure to the end. And so sometimes, and I'm not talking about abuse. Let me qualify this. I'm not talking about abusive relationships. I'm not talking about situations where you are being hurt or in danger. I'm not talking about servitude in the name of stewardship. I'm not talking about trying to earn brownie points with God. Because see, some of us think that we have a genie relationship with God. If I do this, then I'm gonna get that. If I stop this, then I'm gonna earn that. And that's a manipulative relationship that we've been taught and programmed to use in our spiritual communication and our spiritual communion. And so what I'm offering is the spirit of discernment. I'm really trying to get in the light so y'all can see me today. And so when we talk about breaking the spirit of defeat, sometimes you have to give yourself permission to have small wins. Today, when the internet started, I knew that was not just happening. Nothing just happens. Somebody type in, nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. We downplay how we are energetic beings. We downplay how we create our reality. What you see that's happening in your life is the observed reality that you created with the thoughts that you thought just 5 minutes ago. Come on now. Come on. Talk to me. I'm checking in with you. Where are you? You want a little view of Costa Rica? I'm waiting for you to tell me. Huh? Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Nothing. Do you hear me? Tell me you hear me. Nothing just happens. And so when you want to quit, a lot of times it's because you just haven't had a chance to be coached on how to win, or giving yourself permission how to win. All right, thank you. So when we talk about that spirit of defeat, when we talk about the spirit of quitting, the spirit of quitting, it didn't just happen. And so the next thing that we tend to do is DIY. We want to do everything DIY. Let me figure it out. I've been really talking to folks about the spirit of figuring it out. When you figure things out, look at the word, look at the energy of that when you figure things out. We spend more time trying to figure things out rather than to figure things in. And some things you cannot do by yourself. We are a melanated people. We came from traditions of having elders to teach us, to guide us, to hold our hands. Even as women, we watch the woman that nursed us. And when you don't have that relationship in place, this individualistic society, I got to get mine. And y'all know I talked about that branded and broken. Don't nobody steal that sermon title, because I'm sure going to teach on that. You hear my country coming out. I'm sure going to teach on that one. But when you're talking about doing it yourself, I know, sometimes we honestly don't see that we have the money, but we have the money for what we want. Because if you start adding up the happy hours that we go to, when you start adding up the concerts that we go to, when I got ready to launch my business, I had to stop all of that. I had to, and the thing is, we don't want to be inconvenienced by our commitment. Your commitment has to outweigh your convenience sometimes. And so there were times when I had to get help. I thank God that I had someone to help me through these different times, because my mother did not have the capacity to teach me some things. She taught me what she could. And so now we spend most of our life talking about what happened with our mama and our daddy, right? But then we have many mothers. We are village people. We are melanated people, are tribal. And so count it not robbery to be in capable community. Capable community is not always church. Now, I do know some of you church leaders are doing some amazing progressive things. But I talked about a little bit about the spirit of addiction. Sometimes when you are so addicted to your religion, your religiosity, you have to break the addiction. And one of the first steps in breaking the addiction, they say, is to acknowledge first that you even have one. And in healing work, we say, is the first step to healing is acknowledgement. And some things, it doesn't mean you're weak if you can't do it yourself. It doesn't mean that you're weak if you are in therapy. It does not mean that. We need this therapy, black people, black women. Because why? Because the world, they say that the world is going to be saved by the Western woman, but the world is going to be saved by you. And you are going to save the world when you save yourself. Not Captain Save-A-Ho. Yes, I said that. Not that. Because we have needed to be needed in all of the places that don't need us anymore. Nobody needs that servitude anymore. We need you to win. We need you to get your money game up, because we are an economic force. We are an economic power. And you know, even when Jada came out, everybody wanted to go holla, you know, and like what Aunt Viv said, because she, you know, because hateration has many forms. But what Aunt Bill was saying was not, what Jada said wasn't much different from what the minister said, or what Martin Luther King said. Minister Farrakhan said at the Million Man March, or what Martin Luther King said. Because everybody wants to talk about his speech on I Have a Dream, but no one is talking about when he talked about our economic power. And these are the conversations: sex, love, and money. These are the conversations we don't want to have. And we want to have the love conversation because we're looking oftentimes for someone to finance our pain. We're looking for someone to come and rescue us out of our situation. We're looking for a man oftentimes to be our ATM. Yes, I just paused. That wasn't an accident. I want you to let that sink in, because I did it too. I'm not talking to you at you. I'm not talking at you. I'm talking with you, because this is we have to be able to break these spirits on us. The DIY spirit, that's cute for Home Depot, baby, but that is not cute when you have a big purpose on your life. When you are a leading lady and you're leading out front, but you're still hiding, you're still hurting, you're not serving anybody, you're not helping anybody. And so here we are, 23 days into the new year. Are you where you really desire to be? Are you playing the game that you know you're up to? Are you doing the same thing? We think about 91% of the same thoughts every day. The only way that we start to change what we vibrate, what we create, is we have to change our thoughts, and not just on Sunday, not just once a week. You, me, we have to ride this spirit. We have to ride this thing down. And sometimes you got to get in that spirit's face. We get defeated far too easy by the shit that shows up in our world, as if we're the first person to raise children by ourselves. You use your children as excuses for why you're not living in your vision, why you're not standing, why you hadn't launched that business. You use your children as reasons why you have not put money on the side. Just own your shit. Own it. Because see, if we want to talk about being goddesses, see, we want to deal with the creative power of the goddess when it's convenient for us. But the creative power of the goddess means that if I fucking created it, I can uncreate it. And sometimes that means we have to enter into the dark of ourselves. It's not about going out to fix anybody else. It's about being able to deal with that. And when I got called out on the spirit of defeat, it definitely stung. Sometimes the truth is insulting. I learned that from my mentor. And we get mad at people sometimes who tell us the truth. And I thank God for my mentor. You all hear me mention his name. Some of you have had the opportunity to have one experience with him, but just imagine having a daily experience in your face, calling you on your shit. I never knew how everything that I didn't understand then would serve me today. And of course, some of you know that I'm talking about Master Coach Ron Davis. And if you really know him, you know that he's known by Ron motherfucking Davis. And I like speaking his name because I know that when I stand up, he's with me. But not only when I stand up is he with me, I have a line of women that stand up with me when I stand. And so do you. You are not standing by yourself. Even if you come into a line of people who have been doing, if you are a legacy person and it's been passed on to you, you don't have to do it like it's been done. And that's a heavy anointing to carry, to be the interruption. And so some of you who are attracted to me, some of you who are attracted to what I'm doing, it's because you are called for a time and a season as this. This is not the time to quit. This 2016 year is very, very significant in our quantum personal development and manifestation. We are approaching a full moon tomorrow that's in Leo, which is very powerful. Oh my God. If you want to hear more about it, get on the Sunday prayer call on tomorrow. I'm going to touch on it a little bit, or maybe I'll do something for the alumni community or the Good Girl Gone Goddess community. I don't know. Y'all tell me how you might want me to share it with you. But we will be back here at 12 o'clock. So I know I shared some nuggets with you. Again, I'm not exegeting no text here. I hope that you are able to take what I'm sharing in the format that I'm sharing so that you don't give up on you, that you don't quit. And sometimes you have to own the truth of the people in your life that you have given up on, the people that you quit on, the people that quit on you, the people, the situations that it got too hot and too heavy for you, or the situations that you conform to and you don't know why, but you feel obligated. You talk about loyalty. You want to be loyal. I was so loyal to everybody else's thing, while this thing inside of me called Rebirth International I was getting more pregnant and more. I got so many babies inside of me. I just started delivering these babies. We become so loyal, and it seems so noble because black women know how to suffer. Man, release that struggle to the black woman's suffrage, the black woman's pain. You know, I know we have been through some stuff, right? But it doesn't have to be our badge. It doesn't have to be something that we walk in. Your story, our gifts, it really does make room for you. And I'll say this. I'll say this before I close. I don't know how long I've been on here yet, but the internet is holding strong to us, right? When in my mind, when I felt rejected and abandoned, even as I was walking in my purpose, when I felt like I had to leave different circumstances, and I did. Some things I did have to leave. It was necessary for my growth. That's a part of the blessing of being prodigal. See, there's a blessing in being prodigal. I don't care how it's been taught. We teach it as something wrong, because a lot of times the old preachers need to position the thing as wrong so you can get saved. But we still waiting for somebody to come and save us. That whole theology, man, it really does. It's a pathology theology. And it serves the government. It serves systems. It serves institutions. But it doesn't serve you when you know better and you don't do better. But when at a certain point, you see, I told you yesterday that, and I don't know if you caught this when I said, when I felt like I didn't belong in my own family, I said I'll create my own. Some of these things I'm sharing with you on the spot. And that's why, I cry, I curse, I'm an interruption. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's sensitivities or appropriateness. But that's a good thing to create your own. But the truth of the matter is everybody wants to belong to something. Everybody wants to know that they matter. And that's why your coming out matters. Check out the video from yesterday. Your coming out matters because it has to matter to you. And some of the things that we have to come out of are the inner conversations that we stuff, that we cover up, and that we have performed on top of, the things that we have overcompensated for, the things that we, our achievement, our degrees, our salary, all of these things, and I'm not minimizing it. But when we have done this, some things you don't have to create all by yourself anymore. I'm glad that I was willing to be an initiator because that's an anointing. The apostolic anointing is the anointing to initiate, to start. You start things, you come in, you create order. That is the apostolic. I didn't know that. It took other mothers, because as sisters, we mother each other. We mother each other. And so it took my sisters in ministry to help me to position my gift, no longer as a curse, but as a gift. And so, yes, I walk in the apostolic, but I don't have to do it by myself either. Yes, I am empathic, but I don't have to self-protect because I affirm to myself that I am safe. I am safe. You are safe. It is safe to be you. It is okay to be you. Uniquely you. Interruption you. Irreverent you. It's okay. It's safe. And sometimes that means you have to lock arms with a mentor to get you on the other side, and not for the short term. A lot of times we want a magic bullet and a quick fix. And so that's why we go and spend our money with these coaches that have been taught how to sell, but they don't know how to, they don't know how to transform. They just know how to write the language. And so when you don't walk away with tools that you can use over and over again, that you can call your own self out, that you can see yourself, that you can receive feedback either from other people or from your universe, because your world is giving you feedback. Your world is giving you feedback. Just look around your world. So if it's your money that's talking to you, talk back to it. Ask it. What is it that it's saying to you? If your love life is talking to you, ask, what is it that you want me to know this time before you quit? Ask it. What is it? Because see, if you don't get the lesson, you're going to repeat it over and over again. Different pair of pants, different office, different temple, different this, different country. Because you're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running. But you can't run away from yourself. All right, y'all. So tell me what you heard. Tell me what you heard. But you can't run away from yourself. Okay, I see a heart. Thank y'all, my sisters, those of you who are showing up today. Y'all not hating on me because it's so sunny and beautiful. I'm on you. She said I'm on her nerves. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Thank you. I miss you all too. One thing I do miss is my sisterhood. Because this has been a vulnerable experience for me, being here in Costa Rica. I have a little blog called Call to Costa Rica that I haven't even really put out there. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, hiding. But another place you hide is your busyness, all the stuff that you got on your plate, so you can't help but hide behind all these different things, because if you need to focus on one thing, you got to be fully present to it. So thank y'all for letting me know that there were some nuggets. So we're going to be here tomorrow, same time, same station. I am going to do the Sunday prayer call. Listen, let me tell y'all something before I go, because this is funny. Let me tell you one of the ways my little thing showed up. So listen, y'all listening? Come in close. I'm telling on myself. I never told anybody this. So after I got ordained, right? Iyanla came and told me that the ancestors had told her that I was supposed to be pastoring. And when she said that thing to me in her office, I said, they ain't tell me that. Woo! Okay. So then, wait. I'm not done yet. So some of you who know, I was in this pulpit, Union Temple. Then I went on to Real Life Today. Shout out to Real Life Today, my people, my family. But let me back up. I was also a minister in the nation, but that was safe. Anyway, so Miriam told me same thing. She said, I see you opening another church. I said, what? What is it that these people can see that I can't see? What are you talking about? Yeah, so the fact that I'm even doing a Sunday, because I swore that because I was an interruption and that I was a freedom rider and that I was here to teach freedom and I was going to have a ministry without walls. I have all those things. I told myself, I ain't trying to be preparing no sermon every Sunday. And what am I doing? What am I doing? Because you're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running, but you can't run away from yourself. Can't run away from your anointing. Can't run away from who you are. So if you have to bump your head, if you're hard-headed like I was, you don't have to be. Give it up. Give it up. That is the temptation to quit. Is when your head is hard, and when you have a hard head, you know the rest. So for real, I'm out this time. I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it. I am going to tell you why. I really do love you. Join me tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Super Soul Sister Sunday prayer call. I love y'all. I know how to end it this time, Kalilia.